Hey guys, so today I'm going to install this wireless charger for my phone into my truck. It works in all 2015 to 2016 F150s. Maybe other years you'll have to check with them. It's called the Magic Mount from Scosche, and it was pretty highly reviewed, so I thought I'd give it a shot, because I've been thinking about adding wireless charging to my truck for a while now, but I didn't want to just hack something together, so I was thinking about kind of building it into the center console, but it was going to take a lot of work and a lot of custom fab. But they make a pretty custom fit product for lots of vehicles, but this one's for my F150. So we're going to get it installed, and installation should be pretty quick, less than an hour, give or take. And it's pretty easy. All you need are a few tools. A trim pry tool, a Torx 20 driver, a 7mm socket, I'm using an electric wrench because I'm lazy, and a drill with a 1/2-inch bit to make a hole for the cable to pass through. Oh, and a portable vacuum, and some spray cleaner and a towel so your YouTube viewers don't yell at you to clean your truck. So this is where it's going to install, and it's going to go underneath this access door, and it's going to sit in here, and it's going to be powered off of that 12-volt outlet, but it's not going to occupy the outlet because we're going to get behind it and power it in line. So to do that, we have to remove a couple trim pieces here and get to it from behind. So the first step to do is going to be put it in park, or put the parking brake on, and then shift to neutral so that we've got some room to work in here. The first step is going to be removing this speaker grill up at the top. We're going to need to remove that so we can access two 7mm bolts. With those bolts removed, you can lift the top tray out of the way and remove two more 7mm bolts that hold on the front radio bezel. Next, you'll have to remove the front radio bezel. It simply pops off now that you've got those bolts removed. Just be gentle and try not to break any of those clips. There are 3 wiring harnesses attached to the back of it. I just removed the 2 big ones and then leave the top one connected and then put it up on top of the dash out of the way. You'll find 2 more 7mm bolts down at the bottom holding on a small plastic trim piece. Go ahead and pull those off. And then our last 4 7mm bolts are holding in the CD player. Go ahead and remove those, and we'll have to pull the CD player out as well. There are a lot of wires on the back of the CD player. Just carefully unplug all of those. They all use clips, and just set it off to the side. Go ahead and put the truck in neutral. Make sure the parking brake is set. We can start popping off this bezel piece around the cup holders and the gear shift if you have a console gear shifter. Again, it just pops up using plastic tabs. Just be careful not to break any of them. The plastic locking tabs around the gear shift and cup holders pull straight up, but then these last 2 will pull backwards. You're going to have 4 T20 screws to remove. There are 2 in this little cubby, and then there are 2 in the cup holder. With all of those removed, we can lift up and pull off this cup holder piece. It doesn't need to be completely removed from the leather, it just needs to twist up and out of the way. Okay, so this is by far the hardest part. You're going to have to reach behind and blindly grab the connector for the 12-volt power outlet and disconnect it. I had to look at the included wiring harness from the wireless charging pad to get an idea of what that unlocking tab looks like, but giving a little practice, I was able to eventually get it unplugged, and then you can just plug in the new wiring harness and put it all back together. Once you get it all back together, just go ahead and fish that Type-C cable back towards where the cup holders go.
Then we're going to create our 1/2-inch hole with our drill, and the plastic here is so thin it just immediately grabbed my drill bit and made a really sloppy hole. So if you have a step bit or a Forstner bit, that might be better. I came back with a file later and cleaned that hole up so it doesn't fray that cable. Now take that USB-C cable you fished through earlier and just try and stick it up through that hole. This is a tedious process, but once you can get it started, you can grab it from the top and pull it through. Now we can get this little lower frame piece in, and notice it leaves room for the USB and 12-volt outlet. With a little bit of cable management, we can get the wireless charger in place. They included some adhesive strips so that you can secure this in place, but since I use my USB and 12-volt outlets a lot, I didn't use it. It took me a minute to realize that this isn't powered on unless the truck is on, but once I figured that out, I realized it worked just fine. Now it's just a matter of reassembly. This was probably the hardest part, getting this lined up because it's attaching in multiple different directions, but with a little bit of careful force, it'll come back together no problem. It was a bit tedious, but I spent some time doing some cable management, and I was able to still route my USB cable for my Android Auto and the charging cord for my dash cam to fit through with no problem. And it works.